Hello, this video is going to be all about quicksort algorithm. Quicksort is based on divide and conquer approach where the arrays are divided into subarrays, and then partition algorithm is called on it. Partition algorithm, we will see how the things goes on here. So on the screen you can see quicksort of A, P and R. Actually this algorithm is taken from the common book, so if you want to then you can refer from that. And here A is nothing but the array, P is the start index and R is the end index. And in the step number 1, if P is lesser than R, means that P is being compared with R, the start index, which is initially going to be, it is always going to be 0, and it is going to be compared with R, which is nothing but the end index or the last index. So, and in the second step, if it is lesser, then a partition is called. Now let's see what is partition algorithm, then we'll see the another steps 3 and 4 later. Now partition algorithm is, this algorithm is also taken from common book. So partition of A, P, R, it means that we are going, again we know that A is the array, P is the start index and R is the last index or the end index. And here X in the first step, X is equals to A of R. It means that X, here we can say that it is a pivot because it is actually based on the pivot element concept, and we will have here 3 pointers which will be X, I and J. X will be pointer. Every time this pointer is going to be compared with all of the elements, and J will be pointing with those elements by which we are going to compare with this pivot, and I will be the another pointer because we have to take the elements. Actually pivot is the element which we can take the last element as pivot, the first element as pivot, and it could be in the middle also, but there should be one thing that you have to keep in mind, that the elements lying to the left side of the pivot should be lesser than it and the right side should be greater than the pivot elements. So X here is taken as pivot because X here it says that A of R is assigned to X, means that wherever the last index is, that value is going to be X. It means that X here is the last element is taken as the pivot. Now in the second step, I is equals to P minus 1. So P already is the start index, so 0 minus 1. I is equals to minus 1. In the third step, the loop will be for J is equals to P to R minus 1, where P is nothing but 0. So this loop is going to run from 0 to R minus 1. The fourth step, this J pointer or wherever the element, whatever the element is at the J index, is going to be compared with X element. If it is lesser or equals to, then we are going to increment the value of I. If initially it is going to be minus 1, so I will be incremented each and every time when the value at jth position is lesser than the pivot element or equals to at the pivot element. And then after incrementing the value of I, in the sixth step you can see we are going to increment the value of, exchange the values at I and J positions, value element, whatever the elements are at I and J position, we are going to exchange those values. So this will go into the this will be done in the loop, and the loop will run till R minus 1 until we reach the last element, the element 1 less than the last element we have to reach there. And then finally at the last, this seventh step will be performed, where we are going to exchange the values at I and I plus 1 and the pivot, because A of R is nothing but the pivot. As in the first step we can see X is equals to A of R, so A of R is assigned to X. So we can say that pivot, whatever this the last element, we are going to swap the values at, swap those values. Okay, so this seventh step is always performed when we reach R minus 1. Okay, and then let's see what happens after this. So this Q is going to return this, which we have seen that how the partition goes on, and after when we are getting that point at which the array is divided. Okay, so array will be divided into two halves always. Initially it will be divided into two halves, and then here in the third step you can see a of quicksort of a, p and q minus 1. It shows that it is starting from 0 and it will run till q minus 1. Now why it is q minus 1? Because till q we have done that. Okay, so wherever the pivot was, we have taken that, we have gotten the correct position of that pivot element, whatever the value at the pivot element was, whatever the value was it, so it has taken to its correct position. Now we will be sorting the left side, that is the third step, and we will be sorting also the right side, that is nothing but the right side of the pivot. So we have to sort both of them, third and fourth. So we are going to do till q minus 1 and from q plus 1 to r. So I hope you have gotten me. So, and I think it will be better explained with the help of an example, so I'll be giving that here. I hope it helped you. So thank you.